All right, so the first of many confirmation hearings for President-elect Trump's cabinet nominees now begin tomorrow. First up, Attorney General nominee Senator Jeff Sessions. Now, Senate Democrats and their allies on the left, they have made it very clear what they intend to do, and that's unfairly paint Senator Sessions, a good man, as a racist. Now, as we've told you about this on the program before, it is a tactic the Democrats deploy every election, and it's something they've used, sadly, successfully to undermine and even stop Republican nominees in the past. Here's the evidence. Now take a look at President Obama on the campaign trail just last year trying to link Donald Trump to the Ku Klux Klan. Take a look.
If you tolerate supporters who are Klan sympathizers before you're elected, then you'll receive their support once you're in office. If you accept the support of Klan sympathizers, the Klan, and hesitate when asked about that support, then you'll tolerate that support when you're in office. If you accept the support of Klan sympathizers before you are president, you will accept their support after you're president.
Now, if you were surprised by that, well, you shouldn't be. Why? Because Democrats, they resort to these tactics to try and scare you, the voters, into supporting them. Here's Vice President Joe Biden. He's doing the same thing back in 2012. Watch this.
Look at what they value and look at their budget and what they're proposing. Romney wants to let he said in the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
Pretty disgraceful. And then you have one of the worst offenders, former Vice President Al Gore. Take a look at this.
It's wrong what the leader of the Republican Party and this Congress are doing in blocking an accurate census because they don't want to count everyone that they don't think they can count on.
They are in favor of affirmative action if you can dunk the basketball or sink a three-point shot. But they're not in favor of it if you merely have the potential to be a leader in your community and bring people together. Don't tell me we've got a colorblind society.
And there's a lot more, sadly. Here are a few other examples from over the years. Take a look.
When you don't vote, you let another church explode. When you don't vote, you allow another cross to burn.
On June 7, 1998, in Texas, my father was killed. He was beaten, chained, and then dragged 3 miles to his death, all because he was black. So when Governor George W. Bush refused to support hate crimes legislation, it was like my father was killed all over again.
Well, George Bush supported the death penalty for the people that were responsible for that heinous crime. Now, all of these examples are ridiculous, but the Democrats, they have no shame, they have no moral compass, and this just proves how low the left is willing to go to scare you, the voters, and they want to get their way. Now, remember back in 1987, Ronald Reagan, he nominated Robert Bork, one of the brightest judicial minds in the country, to serve on the Supreme Court, and Democrats, led by liberal Senator Ted Kennedy, immediately used scare tactics to destroy this man and destroy the nomination. Take a look.
Robert Bork's America is a land in which women would be forced into back alley abortions, blacks would sit at segregated lunch counters, rogue police could break down citizens' doors in midnight raids, and school children could not be taught about evolution. Writers and artists would be censured at the whim of government.
Now, sure enough, after Kennedy's stunt on the Senate floor, Democrats were able to block Bork's nomination. That's where you hear the term borked. And you have now Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. During his Senate confirmation, Democrats brought out his former colleague, Anita Hill, to make sexual harassment allegations against Thomas. Now, Thomas eventually referred to the process as a high-tech lynching. It was so bad. Take a look at this.
This is a circus. It's a national disgrace. And from my standpoint, as a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves, to do for themselves, to have different ideas. And it is a message that unless you kowtow to an old order, this is what will happen to you. You will be lynched, destroyed, caricatured, by a committee of the U.S. Senate rather than hung from a tree.
Sad. Now that brings us to President-elect Donald Trump's Attorney General nominee, Republican Senator Jeff Sessions. Now, he will start his confirmation process tomorrow by appearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Liberals, they have already signaled that they'll be playing the race card by reviving decades-old allegations against Senator Sessions. Now, these allegations that if you do just a little bit of research, the media will never do it, you'll actually see that they're proven to be false. But what the left won't tell you is this. Jeff Sessions is a man with a civil rights record that people should envy. As a U.S. attorney, he prosecuted members of the Ku Klux Klan. As a U.S. senator, he has repeatedly praised civil rights icon Rosa Parks, spearheaded the effort to award her with a Congressional Gold Medal. He's often praised by his colleagues and has worked on several key bipartisan bills with senators like Richard Blumenthal, Dick Durbin, even Ted Kennedy, and former Senator, then Senator Zell Miller. Democrats won't tell you that Sessions was one of 19 Republicans who voted to confirm President Obama's Attorney General, Eric Holder. No. Instead, the Democrats will try to smear Senator Sessions in an effort to damage the incoming Trump administration.